was My Little Pony, My Little Pony.
As one of the largest post-secondary institutions in Alberta, NAIT represents a diverse population of students and staff, and has taken steps to better ensure a welcoming environment. Safe Spaces is a NAIT initiative started in 2013 for students of the LGBTQ community that educates staff and instructors on appropriate language.
So it's essentially education for the staff member of what words are appropriate, and then different terminology is sorted with the LGBTQ community.
Since including students like Natalie Mahaden in Safe Spaces a year ago, NAIT finally has a gay-straight alliance and new young leaders for the LGBTQ, a role Natalie has always been comfortable with.
I've always been a very confident person, very okay with who I am. And I've also met a lot of people along the way who aren't comfortable with who they are. So I wanted to be that voice for people who were too afraid to have a voice.
It is something that is important for our students, for our student members, our staff, and the NAIT community as a whole.
Konnichiwa. Aren't you Japanese? So I was swimming, and this Mexican boy came up to me, and he just goes, "Konnichiwa, aren't you Japanese?" And I look at him and I laugh, and I'm like, I don't even look Japanese, but no, I'm not Japanese. And then he turns around to his friends and they all laugh. And I questioned whether he was being racist or if he really just didn't know. At first, I found it kind of funny because he thought I was Japanese, but then as I thought about it again, I felt really offended because I am Hmong, and just because I have smaller eyes or I have yellowish skin or black hair, that doesn't make me Japanese. Why do you have to think that all the Asians are Japanese or Chinese or Korean? I mean, there are more than that.
Hold the elevator.
Come on, hey. Hey! Just made it.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, well, making you wait for the next one wouldn't be right.
Yeah, I guess. Where did you say you were from?
Oh, well, I am from Summit. Or Dad's, River Vista.
No, I mean, where are you really from?
Oh, well, I was actually originally born in the valley. And that's about 30 minutes north.
No, I mean, where are you really from?
Oh. Yeah.
I just wanted to know more about him, right? I mean, after all, that's exactly what he's doing. So where did I go wrong?
What does she want to know? My background? I told her that. So what could she possibly want? What exactly does she want to know?
Do you know what a microaggression is?
I do. So I think I learned about what a microaggression was throughout my gender studies classes that I've taken. So basically microaggression is kind of either a subtle or not subtle comment or action towards a marginalized group that makes them feel more marginalized. I think that's...
Yeah.
Yes, it's like a small, usually small like insult that the person might not fully understand is a rude comment, or they might actually know it is a comment, but it's just small enough that they're gonna not admit that it is.
It's a subtle, sort of like, not direct, but subtle like aggression, so like a tiny sort of like attack on your identity or personality.
Yes. Don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a comment that's made unintentionally or intentionally that targets a specific social group identity and further marginalizes them.
Have you ever experienced a microaggression on Stonehill campus?
Unfortunately, all the time. So ones that really bother me are ones about disabilities or mental health or mental illness. So a lot of times I hear people saying like, that's so depressing, or you almost give me a panic attack, when not actually referring to having an actual panic attack, or I'm so OCD, that sort of stuff. So yeah, those are ones that I hear really common.
I would probably say I have, I just can't think of an example, but because they seem to be so common, I'm sure at some point I have.
Are you a Muslim? Well, sometimes like walking in a parking lot at like a grocery store, somebody will walk by and ask me, "Are you a Muslim?" or ask like my parents that. Well, I think it's making an unfair assumption that any like dark-skinned person who wears a turban is automatically a Muslim or from the Middle East. And then even though they don't say it, most of the time it kind of assumes that anybody who wears a turban and is dark-skinned is in some way like a terrorist or someone who's bloodthirsty, even though that's a very small minority of people.
The treatment of the LGBT community has improved slightly, but on college campuses like the University of Georgia, the LGBT community has not been the most privileged group.
We are another part of the community, just as any marginalized group is.
Asker is very open about her pansexuality. As a result, she has been the victim of various microaggressions, bumps, and mistreatment at the university. Another student, Anvita Sangawar, keeps her sexual identity publicly invisible.
Just take it person to person is what I've decided.
Sangawar has had many personal struggles, but has found ample help at the LGBT Resource Center at the University of Georgia. She takes advantage of the relaxed lounge and extensive library collection at the Resource Center.
The Resource Center is like my little home. They're like my family.
It was My Little Pony, my